The first show I went to was 3 days before my 21st birthday. So it was Bad a Case of Big Mouth from New Jersey. Teen Divorce played, and that lineup was Ben, David, and Drew at the time. And then, who else was on that show? Bay Street from, I think, Orlando. They're from that general area. That was like my first show, and my ex-best friend that got me into the scene, Storm, he had a band and they were playing a show. Their name was Living Without a Name. I think they only played like 3 shows, and then Daniel, who did Scrub J, was in that band too. It was at the Birdhouse, which is shut down now. Yeah, it was a very hot, sweaty show. That was my first show, and I was like, what am I doing here? It was very hot. They're like, sorry, our AC broke, but like, we can have the door open. It's like a big building in the middle of like downtown Jacksonville sketch side. Like, I was a little scared. I'm like, where am I? But like, I also knew I was fine, because like, I knew Drew from the internet, which is also like his other band name that he has for himself for the solo project. So it's funny to say that. But I knew him from like the Femme Pop Punk, which is like a Facebook group. So I knew I was okay, because I knew at least like somebody there besides like my 2 or 3 friends that I knew. I want to say the development at first, it was very slow. Like, only like the friends of friends would come out to shows. That show was kind of small. And then I went to a couple other shows after my birthday, because Storm was like, oh, you should come to this show. Like, we met these people at our show, and they're like, hey, these other bands are playing. So I started going to other shows at venues, and I kind of got familiar with some of the people. I kept seeing the same people, and then I'd see that they brought somebody else. And then I took a break, and I started going to Bug House, and I want to say about like 2017, 18. Whenever the Bug House era was, I started going to Bug House shows, and I kept seeing the same people over and over again. Then I'd see new people, and depending on who the band was that was playing, like the headliner, it'd be like a different crowd every single time. So I've just seen it grow. It's well over, I want to say at least like 200 people maybe that I know just in the scene, and also like people in like Orlando and Gainesville and other parts too that come to shows sometimes. I feel like it started with just like 50 people at most, and now it's like a ton of people.
We're at my house, which used to be called the Bug House. I got into the Jacksonville scene like 5 or 6 years ago, and started going to like the normal venues, and then kind of got into like the DIY scene more, and started finding house venues, and I just thought it was a really cool, like a really cool scene, and something that I like never really thought I'd be a part of, but kind of like envy's not the word, but like sought a little bit. And so the last one, as with any scene, our last house venue closed and we needed a new one, and like the night of a show, we just moved that show here, and it just kind of, so I kept doing it for like another 2 years. Cons are obviously, it doesn't bode well with the neighbors, or some random person that decided to send my landlord a letter. I don't know who you are. The pros, it was really nice to kind of give everybody, the DIY scene's changed a lot in the last like 10 years or so. Like, it's not really about like punk anymore. It's kind of like about acceptance and feeling like you have a place that you can kind of just be yourself. And I feel like it's important to have like non-bar venues, because I think a lot of the time, not all the time, bars tend to have random people that you can see. It's harder to control what your environment is, and that's not the fault of the venues. It's just, it's a little easier to control when it's your house and you can tell somebody like, I don't want you here. Yeah. So really, like, I think a big pro for me was just the fact that people felt safe and they came here to kind of escape a lot of judgment and stuff.
Sarah.
Charlie.
Lumpies! First.
Okay.
We've known each other since the 4th grade, and we started. I would say we officially started dating in 9th grade, and we just kind of built our lives with each other through that period, and we ended up in Jacksonville.
I met this nerd at mosquito camp.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Like a decade ago.
Yeah, like we've known each other for like maybe 9 years
I
now.
wasn't even living in Florida then. I was living up in New York, but I came down to visit family. And as I normally do, but I went to summer camp. Came down to visit my dad, and I was working, so he put me in camp, and I met this loser there.
I think you moved down in like the 10th grade, 11th grade?
Yeah. And yeah, my sophomore year of high school. And then he happened to be going to the same school. So it just kind of...
It was weird. We were like passing in the hallway and I like saw him and I was like, that kid looks fucking familiar.
I got a text message from him.
I was like, yeah, did you move like down here? I was like, are you starting to go to my school now? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, shit, all right. So we've lived together in Jacksonville for like
2 years now.
2 years, almost 3. And since Jacoby and Kevin aren't here right now, I met Kevin like 2 years ago at work, and he moved in with us. And then through Kevin, we met Jacoby, and Jacoby moved in January 1st last year, and it's just been a big house since then.